Welcome back to Chasing Shadows. After the Bigfoot episode, that got me thinking about all the other cryptids out there. So I decided we should do an entire episode dedicated to only cryptids. For anyone who might not already know, a cryptid is a creature whose existence is claimed or suggested by eyewitness accounts, folklore, or other evidence, but it has not been proven or accepted by mainstream science. Think of things like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. So things that people insist they've seen or encountered, but we still don't have definitive proof one way or the other. So tonight we're exploring a range of them. Mothman, Dogman, or werewolf, however you want to say it, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, Wendigo, Skinwalker, Flatwoods Monster. And since I'm from Ohio, we're going to throw in the Ohio Grassman. We're going to take a good look at each one tonight. The history, recent sightings, the evidence or lack of it, the theories, and why some of these feel more real or more terrifying than others. You know what time it is. Throw on your headphones and let's get started. Let's start with the most famous and most chilling cryptid out there, the Mothman. The legend really takes off in November of 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Dozens of witnesses, and these are normal people, they're not thrill seekers, report seeing a large, man-sized creature with glowing red eyes, massive wings, and no visible head or neck. It flew silently, chased cars down roads, perched on rooftops and bridges, and just watched. Over the next 13 months, more than 100 sightings were logged. Then, on December 15th, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapses into the Ohio River. 46 people die. Suddenly, Mothman isn't just a weird bird thing. He's linked to a disaster. John Keel writes the Mothman prophecies in 1975, turning it into a cultural icon. The 2002 movie with Richard Gere cements the prophet of doom angle. Today, Point Pleasant leans hard into the Mothman. There's a Mothman museum, a 12-foot statue downtown, and an annual festival every September that draws thousands. But the sightings never really stopped. The Chicago Mothman wave from 2017 to 2021 brought hundreds of reports in the Chicago area. Tall, winged figure with red eyes on rooftops, near bridges, in parks. In 2025 and into 2026, new social media claims popped up again in Chicago suburbs, Ohio River towns, and even parts of West Virginia. People posting shaky phone videos of large shadows flying low at dusk or red eyes glowing from tree lines. No bridge collapses, thankfully, but the pattern feels familiar. Sightings cluster, then something happens. Or nothing does, which is somehow more unsettling. Skeptics say that it's just confused with a great horned owl or sandhill crane. They're big birds with red eye shine from headlights, especially at night. Believers point to the consistency. No feathers, no bird call, silent flight. And those eyes. Some tie it to interdimensional or spiritual entities. Keel himself thought Mothman was more ultra-terrestrial than biological. The question lingers. Is he just a large bird thing that only likes to be seen occasionally? Or is it a warning? Now let's talk about something that feels like it's straight out of a horror movie. Dogman, or a werewolf. The legend is strongest in the Great Lakes region. Michigan's Dogman legend dates back to 1887, but it exploded in 1987 after a radio DJ played a Dogman song as a joke and got flooded with calls from people saying they'd seen it. Witnesses describe a 7-foot-tall, muscular creature with a wolf-like head, thick fur, bipedal stance, and sometimes human-like hands or posture. The Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin is the most famous. Multiple sightings of a wolf man crossing roads, staring down cars, and even chasing people. And just this month, the Great Lakes Loons baseball team unveiled Michigan Dogmen as an alternate identity for their uniforms. It was a full nod to the folklore, with wolf head logos and viral marketing. It sparked a wave of social media posts and I saw it stories from the region. Reddit threads from northern Michigan and Wisconsin claim fresh sightings, dog like howls at night, large paw prints, and one daylight encounter near a hiking trail where a hiker said it stood up on two legs and watched him leave. Obviously, skeptics are going to try to discredit it. They try to say it's just a large black bear or a large wolf. Standing bears look humanoid from a distance, especially in low light or fog. Believers point to bipedal movement, howling that doesn't match known animals, and the sheer number of consistent reports. Some tie it to Native American skinwalker legends or even modern werewolf sightings in Europe. The Beast of Gévaudan echoes from the 1700s. If something like this is out there, what does it mean? Is it an undiscovered canid or something more supernatural? Now let's hit up a trio of cryptids that are very different, but they have kind of the same vibe. My favorite of the three, the Chupacabra, the goat sucker. First exploded in Puerto Rico in 1995. Farmers found livestock drained of blood with puncture wounds. I remember being in high school, hearing about this Chupacabra and just my mind being blown. So witnesses described a reptilian creature with spines, red eyes, hopping like a kangaroo. By the 2000s, sightings spread to Texas, Mexico, and a lot of the Southwest. Livestock attacks still happen in those areas, but most of them are explained as coyotes or dogs with mange, hairless, scabby, scary looking. Still, the blood draining pattern keeps believers convinced something else is at play. The Jersey Devil, Pine Barrens, New Jersey. Legend says in 1735, a woman cursed her 13th child to be born a devil. It flew up the chimney, and that's when the sightings started. Winged, horse-headed, kangaroo-bodied creature. In 1909, there was a major wave. Hundreds of reports across New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Pine Barrens tourism pushes it hard. There's been a lot of social media posts between last year and now claiming new sightings near Batstow Village and Tuckerton. Strange screams, large tracks, shadows in the trees. The third of this trio is the Flatwoods Monster. In West Virginia, September of 1952, a group of kids and a mom see a 10-foot tall figure with a red face, green body, and claw-like hands after a meteor-like object landed. Described as alien-like, but no follow-up sightings. The Flatwoods Monster Museum in Sutton, West Virginia still draws crowds, and recent TikToks revived old photos and reenactments. Some claim new lights in the area. So what do you think? Were those three misidentified animals? Or could there be something tied to the folklore? The next cryptid on the list is Wendigo. Algonquian legend from northern forests. A human who turns to cannibalism becomes possessed by a spirit. Emaciated, tall, insatiable hunger, antlers or gaunt face. Wendigo psychosis. There's historical cases of people driven mad by starvation and turning to cannibalism. Blurs the lines between myth and reality. It's often tied to missing hikers in northern woods, disoriented people found with no memory, or never found at all. Some tie it to psychological breakdown and isolation. Others say it's a real entity. Next up is Skinwalker, Navajo legend. A witch who gains shape-shifting powers through dark rituals, can become animals, mimic voices, run impossibly fast. Skinwalker Ranch in Utah is the hotspot. Decades of reports. Mutilated cattle, orbs, poltergeist activity with humanoid figures. There are TV shows that keep it in the spotlight. New experiments with ground-penetrating radar and drones still yielding strange results. These feel darker. Cultural taboos, real fear, and reports that cross into the paranormal. Are they spirits? Psychological projections? Or something we don't want to admit is possible? And this last one is a request. The Grassman, Ohio's own aggressive Sasquatch variant. The Grassman, also called the Ohio Grassman or Orange Eyes, is described as a 7 to 10 foot tall, 300 to 1,000 pound bipedal hominid. Very Bigfoot like, but reportedly more aggressive, with a foul smell, long dark hair, and sometimes glowing orange eyes. The name comes from its habit of building crude, hut like nests from woven tall grass and brush, hence the name Grassman. The legend kicks off strong in the 1970s, especially around Minerva, Ohio. In August of 1978, the grandchildren of Evelyn and Hal Caton ran inside screaming about a hairy monster in a nearby gravel pit. The family later saw it multiple times, peering through their kitchen window at night. Standing on a hill near a strip mine, and even two hairy figures in daylight. One encounter had the creature approaching aggressively before being scared off. Over 300 sightings have been reported in Ohio since the 70s, mostly in eastern central areas like Salt Fork Lake, Perry County, and rural spots near Cleveland's edges. It's often called more human-looking than classic Bigfoot, but far less shy. Some reports say it throws rocks, charges, or stalks people, and we know our gal Bigfoot would never do that. Sightings are still trickling in. In Salt Fork and Hocking Hills area, wood knocks, and occasional face-to-face claims. Ohio tourism even leans into it. Skeptics obviously are going to say black bear or misidentification. Ohio's forests have plenty of bears, and standing ones can look bipedal. Believers point to the nests, aggression, and consistent eyewitness details across decades. Some say it's just eastern Bigfoot. Others think it's a subspecies or something unique to Ohio's mix of woods and fields. If this is real, it's one of the more aggressive cryptids out there. What do you think? Ohio's own Sasquatch, or is it something darker? Well, that's our episode on cryptids. Plenty of creatures out there. Which one creeps you out the most? If you got a sighting, a story, or a cryptid that we should cover next, send it in. I love hearing all this stuff. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and follow us on Instagram or TikTok for clips, behind the scenes, and updates. Thank you for chasing shadows with me. Stay curious, stay safe, and see you next time.